Perfect. Awesome. So just to get started, we'd like to begin with a territory acknowledgement. WorkBC Center, West Shore and Souk recognizes the traditional territories of the Esquimalt, Songhees, Sauk, Sianu, and Pacheedaht First Nations on which our offices are located, and we are proud to provide employment-related services to these nations. Just a brief look at our agenda for today. So we'll begin with a WorkBC Employment Services overview. Before we dive into a brief background on trades in Canada, covering labor market statistics, representation, and high opportunity trades occupations, before we hand it over to Heather for the bulk of our presentation from Camosun College on the Women in Trades training program. Lastly, we'll open up the floor to any questions and comments. If you do have any throughout the presentation, please feel free to throw them in the chat. We'll get to them either throughout the presentation or at the very end. So diving right into our WorkBC Center West Shore and Souk Employment Services. WorkBC Employment Services are free and available to all unemployed British Columbians who are seeking employment and are legally eligible to work in BC. Some employed individuals may also be eligible for our services, such as those who are at risk of losing their current job or those who are underemployed British Columbians with a disability. WorkBC centers are located all across British Columbia, and these centers offer a range of services that support job seekers to improve employment readiness and to find or maintain employment. Additionally, any BC job seeker can access the self-serve resource area of WorkBC Employment Service Centers. So diving into our services, like we just mentioned, our resource center is open to all job seekers. You can come in and use our computers for all of your job search needs or access a printer or photocopier for your job search documents. A staff member will always be available to assist you with any questions or concerns you may have, and these resource services are provided on either a drop-in or an appointment basis. Looking at our workshops as an aspect of our services, these are available in person at West Shore and Souk centers, but we also provide virtual workshops as well. And they cover all aspects of job search and job retention to ensure you can achieve your goals. These cover topics like resume building, career planning, interview skills, how to access the hidden job market, computer skills, financial literacy, and much more. It truly is a great resource. Next, we have our wage subsidy program. This program is designed to assist unemployed individuals or underemployed individuals to enhance their skills on the job. And the wage subsidy program does this by assisting the employer when hiring someone who lacks all of the necessary skills for a position by offering a percentage of your wages for a duration of up to 24 weeks. And we actually do have an FAQ information session on our YouTube channel as well on the wage subsidy program. Next up, we have our personal employment planning. This is an exceptional resource. We provide individualized sessions with an employment advisor to build your return to work action plan and help you define your path to success. Additionally, we provide job start support. This is where work clothing such as boots or scrubs, tools, and short courses such as food safe and first aid can be available to those who are unable to afford it. On a similar vein, our job sustainment services offer services to help you resolve your issues impacting your ability to maintain your employment. This can look like providing on-the-job or in-office support from experienced job coaches who are able to help you mediate your disputes with your employers, learn new procedures, or even gain insight into today's workplace culture. Last but certainly not least, we have our job listings and labor market info newsletter. As a registered client of the West Shore or Souk WorkBC centers, you can receive our newsletter job links. And this newsletter features a daily list of job leads, covers local employment information, as well as employment events and programs. To learn more about any of the services that we have listed, feel free to check out our website at workbccenter-langford.ca. And just as we are recording our session today, we record all of our workshops and our information sessions, and they are all available on our YouTube channel to watch. We like to record them to make sure that they're accessible to individuals who aren't able to attend in person. And there's tons of sessions available covering everything from employment standards. We have an information session on uncovering Crown Corporation jobs and much more. So it's truly a great resource to check out our YouTube channel. Just to highlight one of the upcoming events that we have, we are hosting our annual Souk Job Fair this March 9th at Edward Milne Community School. It's going to be one of the largest job fairs in Souk. We're greatly looking forward to hosting it, and it will be a credible opportunity for attendees to attend and network with local employers. There are positions available from part-time to full-time, senior to entry-level positions. So it's going to be a great event. You can register through our WorkBC Eventbrite page, through which you were able to find this event. And if you register ahead, you'll be entered to win a prize pack. So it's going to be a great event. Lastly, you can just see our contact information here. Please feel free to reach out to us either by phone or in person. We would love to see you. If you're interested in any of the services that we've mentioned, if you have questions, if you'd like to be walked through eligibility, we are available to support you. Does anybody have any questions before I dive into our background on trades? And if you can't think of any right now, no worries at all. If something comes up later, feel free to put it in the chat or we'll discuss at the very end. So starting our background on Canadian trades with some labor market statistics that we believe to be relevant. The province of BC is projecting almost 1 million new jobs through 2033, of which 7% will be construction openings, with 54,000 construction workers retiring over the next decade. We can also see listed below Vancouver Island job openings projected through the next decade, roughly, covering positions such as automotive service technicians, carpenters, electricians, cooks, and welders. And we can see their relative projected openings as well as their median salaries, which is interesting to look at by comparison. Looking at representation in Canadian trades, so we have seen a very significant trend of increases of women in construction. Employment of women aged 15 to 24 in the construction industry increased from 10,500 in 2022 to almost 17,000 last year, representing a 60% increase. And this trend also held true in BC, where the number of young women in the sector increased last year while it declined for young men. 4.5% of the construction trade workers in BC are women. Next, we also see a trend of apprenticeship registration in BC increasing. It was up by 8% last year. There's now a record number of apprentices, 41,000 to be exact, across the province, and roughly 1,000 women entering skilled trades, which is also up by 37%. So some very interesting statistics there. Before we hand it off to Camosun for the majority of our presentation, we wanted to showcase some high opportunity occupations in Canadian trades. So you may be wondering what qualifies a high opportunity occupation. These positions are listed by the British Columbia Labor Market Outlook and are identified by answering the following 4 key questions. How many job opportunities will be available? How easy will it be to get a job in the future? How easy is it to get a job now? And how much is the wage? So these are all of the factors that go into identifying high opportunity occupations. And for your information, we've just compiled a couple of different examples of these positions. There is more information available on these positions within the WorkBC base website, which is an excellent resource to look at. But we can see here that construction managers, contractors and supervisors within the mechanic trades, automotive service technicians, truck and bus mechanics, and mechanical repairers all qualify as high opportunity occupations across those 4 criteria. And we can see relative their annual earnings as well as projected job openings within the next 10 years, roughly. Continuing on, we can also see that hairstylists and barbers, senior managers, construction, transportation, production, and utilities, as well as contractors and supervisors within heavy equipment operator crews also qualify as high opportunity occupations, essentially showcasing how many different roles and potential opportunities there are to find high opportunity occupations within the trades. That does bring my portion to an end. I'll now love to pass it off to Heather for the main portion of our presentation. Thank you everyone for your attention, and Heather, really looking forward to hearing your presentation. I will stop sharing now and you'll be able to share yours.
Excellent. Thank you for that. What a great overview on some of the exciting changes that are happening within the trades in a marketplace that continues to be in high demand, have a lot of work available, and be shifting so that there are significantly better representation of gender diverse groups than there has been historically. We still have a lot of room for growth in those areas, which is why programs like the one that we offer at Camosun still exist. We'll dive in to the actual prepared slides that I have. There we go. I would like to just begin by acknowledging that Camosun College has two campuses located on the traditional territories of the Lekwungen and the WSÁNEĆ people, and we acknowledge their welcome and graciousness to the students who seek knowledge here. I also like to take a little moment at this slide to give myself some photo credit, as this is a picture that I took on a beautiful sunny day standing on top of the roof of the new health sciences building that we have at Interurban campus on a day that one of our refrigeration instructors took our class for a site tour of the campus, where we visited the mechanical rooms and we climbed up onto the roof to see the different fan systems and ventilation. And it was just a pretty incredible day and one of my favorite pictures. Now, this was just scrolling through. There we go. At Camosun, we've been working to create a more inclusive workforce and tackling the barriers faced by underrepresented groups in the trades since 2010. We are very proud of our faculty, support staff, and everyone who works to make these programs possible. It's been a pretty incredible journey. I've been part of our trade development and special projects team for the last 3 years now. I started at the college 6 years ago. I am a Red Seal chef and was working over in our culinary department. So it's been a really fun transition for me to jump into these programs, and a lot of learning and a lot of opportunity to try new things. And it's been a pretty incredible journey to be part of. A little overview of some of the different things that we do offer at Camosun. There are so many different trades out there, and significantly more than just what we offer at the college here. The programs that we offer through Camosun College include foundation programs as well as apprenticeship levels. So foundation programs, we are referring to a pre-apprenticeship program where you're on campus between 6 to 10 months in duration, depending on which trade it is you choose. And then once you dive into the apprenticeship system, you're finding a workplace that's going to have hours that accrue while you're learning on the job. And then you come back to us at the college, usually once a year for between 6 to 10 weeks, again, depending on the trade. The programs that we offer, we have an automotive service technician program, electrical trades, fine furniture and joinery, heavy mechanical trades, horticulture technician, plumbing and pipe trades, professional cook, refrigeration, air conditioning mechanic, sheet metal fabrication, and welding. I believe that's everything that's being offered currently at Camosun College. Insofar as the actual women in trades and gender and in equity in trades programs, as I mentioned, we've had these programs in place since 2010 at Camosun. I started out incredibly small and have grown over the years, which is always wonderful to see students returning for their levels, completing their red seals, and just that incredible evolution of how many people who are deciding, wow, the trades sound like a great option for me, just because it hasn't traditionally been a place where I see folks like myself, doesn't mean that it isn't a place that will be a great opportunity moving forward. Our Women in Trades programs are open to people from gender equity seeking groups of all ages, all backgrounds, all skill levels, who are looking for a career within the trades. We have 3 different avenues of sponsorship available at the college. We offer our Trade Explorer program, which we're going to dive into in more detail in this presentation, which is a 12-week introduction to the trades. So folks who come in with no skill level or very little, but just really have a desire to work in the trades and don't necessarily know where to start. This is a program that will give people that step up to understand what a career in the trades could look like for them. We also have sponsorship opportunities available for our foundation students, as well as sponsorship opportunities available through separate funding sources to see our students right through to their red seals. Funding for the Women in Trades Training Initiative, which takes care of our Trade Explorer and our foundation funding, is provided through through the Canadian British Columbia Workforce Development Agreement in conjunction with Skilled Trades BC. Things people have in common when they decide they want to get into the trades. I hear this all the time. People reach out like, hey, I want to fix things. I want to build things. I don't want to be stuck at a desk. I want to be able to see what I've accomplished during the day. I want to be working with my hands, which is always a little bit ironic as I do these sitting at a computer, because I always think to myself, wow, that's why I got into the trades too. And then I remind myself what an amazing field it can be to start out in a kitchen on a different job site, and have opportunity to grow and expand, and you never really know where you're going to end up. Which I didn't even know that this job existed back when I started out in kitchens a lot of years ago. Funding requirements for our Explorer program, as well as our foundation trainings, sponsorship. You need to be a Canadian citizen, you need to be or a permanent resident or a protected person under the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. You need to be legally entitled to work in Canada. You need to be living in British Columbia, not a full-time student in a different program. You need to not be currently involved in other provincially or federally funded labor market programs. And you need to be unemployed or precariously employed. And precarious employment can certainly have a lot of interpretation as to what that means. And we touched on it in the WorkBC presentation earlier. And a job that's not leading anywhere, a job that may be replaced by technology, in a field that is not experiencing growth, working under 20 hours a week. So there's a lot of different ways to interpret that, and we really help students, or potential students rather, to explore that on a case-by-case basis. We work to create safe space. We look to break down barriers for women and members of equity-seeking groups to explore a future in the trades. We want you to be able to pick up a power tool for the first time, and maybe it's scary and maybe you've never done anything like that, but we want to be able to do it in an environment where it's safe to try, where you know that you are protected, where you are supported, where you are being taught both the safety of the tools, but also in a safe and supportive environment that no one's going to laugh at you. We have a lot of folks who are new. We are starting out at these very similar levels. And it is okay to not be good at things. It's okay to know that there's a lot of room for growth, but it is also setting students up to empower them to feel confident on the tools, to walk away with projects and skills that they didn't know that they were possible, or that they were able to do. All right, our next trade exploration program is scheduled to start April 8th of 2024. So we are currently accepting applications for that program. We can dive into that a little bit later on as to what the application process looks like. Our 12-week Trade Explorer program trains individuals for employment as entry-level trades helpers, skilled laborers in a number of trades careers. We focus on hands-on learning opportunities. We focus on safety, an introduction to the different paths and opportunities available. So yes, so scheduled for April, and then we will have another one scheduled for September. We traditionally run 2 of these programs in a year. We tend to do an introduction to all of the different trades that are offered at Camosun College. If it isn't a full week in the trade shop, we would at least do a tour or an introduction, have a speaker in. We want students to be exposed to what we offer at the college. We'll also bring in speakers from other trades that we don't necessarily offer at Camosun College to help students understand just how big the world of the trades can be, and to help folks find the fit that is the right fit for them. It's very much focuses on hands-on learning and fun learning. Even if at the end of a week in pipe trades, you've determined that that's not a course of career opportunity that is interesting to you, we'd love for you to have that skill level, that experience, that courage to be able to watch a couple more YouTube videos, to remember what you learned in class, and maybe pick up the $4 washer at Home Depot and fix your leaky kitchen sink yourself rather than calling in a plumber. So we want students to feel empowered, to be willing to try the thing. And we do a lot of take-home projects. It again shifts depending on instructor availability and shop space. And we have a lot of instructors who will come back with the same project over and over that is a crowd favorite that teaches a lot of different skills around the various trade opportunities, teaches people to use a lot of the different tools and have those opportunities. But we also mix things up, so it may not be the same as what a friend did a couple of years ago. We like our instructors and the teams that we work with to be able to try to put together new projects and to cater to the group that they have, and to be able to have fun with teaching it, as well as the students taking the programs. We do tend to do the copper watering can with all of our classes, as it involves pipe bending, pipe cutting, soldering, brazing, and it's such a fantastic take-home project. I made a copper watering can the first year that I was in this role with the class, and I use it to water my houseplants all the time. And every time I go water my plants, there is this little moment of like, yeah, I made this. It's still not leaking. I did good. So I may never be a plumber. That's okay. But that level of accomplishment of having that watering can that I made with my own hands, and at the time, very little skill, brings a lot of joy to my life. I mentioned safety as one of our main focuses. We do a lot of different certificate trainings as part of the program, both to help students to be very safety focused, and also to help you to achieve things that look great on a trades focused resume. A lot of employers are looking for students who have first aid, who have their WIMIS, their fall protection. So we tend to work these into the program. We do the Site Ready BC certification. We also tend to do either scissor lift or forklift training. Again, being able to tackle something like that in a supportive, safe environment in a group of peers is a really good step forward to being able to certify on a forklift on a job site down the road, knowing that, yeah, I've done this once already. This is all right. It is a fully funded program, our 12-week trade exploration program. So we take care of all of the student fees and tuition costs associated with the program. We set students up with PPE, which is personal protective equipment. That comes in the form of vouchers from Mark's Work Warehouse. So you can go and pick up your pair of work boots and a voucher towards some work pants. We set students up with high-vis vests, safety glasses, hearing protection, as well as any of the tools that you'd be required to use during a day in the shop. We will make sure are available for students for that experience. The program also includes a work experience opportunity. So we work with the students on a one-by-one basis to get a sense of what trade they are most interested in. We try to make sure it's easily located near to their home, or that they have transportation to be able to get to the different locations. And they go out and work in industry for a week, gaining some real hands-on experience and real understanding of what it would be like to explore a career in that given trade. I believe I mentioned earlier that we bring in guest speakers, and that may vary depending on the trade. And we do a lot of site tours. Pictured here, we were at BC Transit, which was a really cool heavy-duty focused site tour, and a really neat opportunity to get a better idea of what they do and how they train their staff and what they're looking for in apprentices. Really, our goal is to help our students make informed choices about their futures. It looks different for every person. Not everyone's going to want to be a carpenter, and that's okay. We don't need everyone to be a carpenter. Not everyone's going to want to get into heavy duty. Some folks are going to end up falling in love with trades they didn't even know existed. I think sheet metal is always top of that list. And people think metal trades and they think welding. They get into sheet metal, which is a thinner gauged metal, and become aware of the amazing job opportunities we have South Island in a lot of that field. And yeah, you just never know where it's going to lead, but we definitely help work with our students to make these decisions and help them find their path forward. As I mentioned, we are currently open for applications for our April intake. Applications for the Trade Explorer program come directly through our office rather than the online application portals. So we get students to start the process by emailing us at tdsp@camosun.ca. I know there's going to be an email going around after this presentation with some of the different links and contact information. We start out the application process requesting that students send in a resume as well as a letter of interest, why they're excited about the program, why they're interested in taking the program, and how they're eligible for the funding requirements that are necessary. And then we go on to an application form and an interview just to make sure the program is a really good fit for what a student is looking for, and that the time is right for them at this point. And that is my whole presentation, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Heather, so much. That was such a great presentation, and I love how personalized it was as well. And thank you to everyone who came out today, and for your attention. We hope that you found value in the presentation. Like Heather mentioned, we will be sending out a follow-up email. It will come into your inbox tomorrow, registered throughout Eventbrite through the same email format. And we'll also include that email and that contact information, as well as perhaps some other resources as well. And yeah, if you guys do have any questions, you'll be able to utilize that contact to direct them to Heather's team or to us. We'll also be uploading this session to our WorkBC channel if you want to rewatch it again, so you can see any of the information there or get any of our contact information. And that brings us to the end of our event. So thank you everyone so much for your attendance, and we hope you have a great rest of your day, and hopefully you'll reach out. Okay, thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Heather. And I'm not sure if anybody has any questions who's hanging around, but we're definitely
I have some question.
sure.
For Heather. There's a program called Bridge Watch rating.
Yes.
What's that program about? When you graduate, what kind of job you can do?
Yeah, so we could include that information in our email as well. I can track down the right link for you. That's ran through ProSet, which is what continuing education at the college is called. It is designed to help students be able to work on ships at the end. So a lot of our students go on to work with BC Ferries. I don't have the details of everything that's involved in that program. It is separate from the trades programs, as it's more of a learning to be a deckhand and crew on the ships. But I can certainly track down the information, and we can include that email contact when we send out the information from this session.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much, Helen.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm still muted. I do that all the time. Okay, I guess we will end that. Okay, yeah, Helen's dropped out now. Okay, awesome. I don't know, Brianna, if we're still recording or.
Oh yes, I guess. Yeah, we are.
Get you cut that out, but we will edit the end of that video, so it won't have all of the personal questions at the end.